I purchased the upgrade card for the Hyfix Space Weather Station, doubling the earnings for this miner from $1 a day to $2 a day. In this video, I'll give you a brief overview of this project and this upgrade. We'll review the profitability impact of this upgrade that I'm seeing so far. We'll go through the issues that I had with my upgrade install, and finally I'll give you the pros and cons that I see with this project. This way you have all the info you need to determine if you want to jump into this project as well. Let's get started. If you're not familiar with this project, I encourage you to check out my 2 prior videos. I'll link those in the description below. To start off, for some quick background, this space weather station is part of GEODNET, which stands for Global Earth Observation Decentralized Network. It is a decentralized network of space weather mining stations that report the real-time influence of the sun's solar winds on the global navigation satellite system signals. This data is then used to correct GPS signals to provide centimeter level positioning accuracy in real time. There are many potential real-world applications for this technology, from autonomous navigation, earthquake monitoring, land surveying, and potentially many more. Let's start off by looking at the different space weather station options to purchase. So they currently offer 2 different space weather stations. They have the dual band and the triple band. Now, I originally purchased the dual band back in January of 2022. It was priced at the same price point at $495. And they've recently introduced the triple band, which is a higher price point at $695, but they advertise it as potentially earning more than double the amount of the dual band. So really, if you look at that regard, it is a potentially much better value because its earnings potential is much higher. Now, for people that already have the dual band, you can actually order the upgrade card. I ordered mine for Black Friday in November of 2022, and I got this on sale for, I believe it was $145, and it just came in the mail for me last week, and I just recently installed the triple band upgrade card, so now my miner is now a triple band earning miner. Now, of note, these devices consume very little electricity. If you go to the data sheet specs for this device, they advertise it as using less than 2 watts. So you really don't have to worry about your electric expense when running these devices. I'll put a link to purchase these in the description below and in the pinned comment. Now, it is a referral link, so I'll get a small commission if you choose to purchase this device using my link, and it'll help to support the channel. But I'm not going to give you a hard sales pitch here. I'm just going to share my experiences I've had with this device so far, and you do what's best for you. Remember, this isn't financial advice. Next, let's look at the token. So for hosting your space weather station, you'll be rewarded in GEODNET tokens. GEODNET is a cryptocurrency token. It's currently priced at just over 2 cents per token. It is still a fairly small project at a fully diluted market cap of just under 21 million. It is a Polygon-based token, so the good thing there is you'll pay much lower gas fees than an ERC20 Ethereum token. If we go down to the price chart, this token did just launch in August of 2022, and you can see it has been on quite a downtrend ever since launch, and that's really due to the overall bear market. A lot of tokens over this time period have not really performed well, and that's just what you're going to get when you launch a token in the middle of a bear market. If we go over to the market section, you can see currently there is very little markets available for trading GEODNET tokens. The only one listed is QuickSwap, and they have various pairs, Wrapmatic, and then USDC to GEOD. Now, one thing I do consider when I'm looking to get into a project is how liquid the tokens are to determine whether or not I can sell the tokens if I so wish. If there is no liquidity or required lockup or a heavy penalty for selling your tokens, that can significantly change the prospects of a project. Now, we can see here the liquidity volume on QuickSwap is very minimal. And I think there's just a very low demand for selling these tokens at this point. But I did do a test yesterday to see if I could swap a small amount of GEODNET tokens on QuickSwap, and was able to successfully do that. Now, keep in mind, I only sold $2 worth of GEODNET tokens, so it was about 100 GEODNET tokens, and I exchanged it for $2 in USDC. Because personally, I'm not really interested in selling a lot of my GEODNET tokens at this point. I'm really waiting for much higher prices in the future and to potentially be listed on some major exchanges over the coming years. So really, for me, it's really accumulation time for these GEODNET tokens. But it is good that I was able to confirm that I can actually swap these tokens if I so wish. Next, let's walk through the profitability analysis I put together. So the first analysis I wanted to do was compare the profitability of my space weather station between the 2-band and the upgraded 3-band. So what I did is I went into Polyscan and I input my wallet address, and I found all my GEOD payments since the beginning of March. And what I found is my 2-band was paying about 43 GEOD tokens per day, which based on current prices is a GEOD token of just over 2 cents. We're looking at an average about 92 cents per day. Now this will change for various people depending on your location. You do need to be in an optimal location above tree lines. So this may not be exactly the same for everyone else's. So then on March 15th, I upgraded to the 3-band. Today, I received my first full day payout of 92 GEODNET tokens, worth currently at current value is $1.94. So if we look at the difference between the two, I'm earning approximately 48.75 more Geo tokens per day using the 3-band, 112% increase over my prior results. So our dollars earned per day, we're looking at just under $1 earned per day, and now we're looking at just under $2 per day. So next, let's look at a break-even analysis between the 2 bands and the 3-band devices. So you can purchase today the 2-band device at $495. If you look at my average earnings per day of 92 cents per day, you're looking at a break-even days of 540 days or 18 months or a year and a half. If you look at the 3-band miner, you can purchase that currently for $695. I'm seeing right now earnings per day of $1.94, so you're looking at a break even of just under 1 year for the 3-band device. That's why I consider the 3-band a better value for your money at this point, just because of the much lower break even period. So next, let's look at what the profitability analysis would look like at all-time highs. So current GEOD price is just over 2 cents, an all-time high price according to CoinMarketCap was just over 8 cents. Made on August 23rd of 2022. So that's a 289% increase over the current price. At an all-time high, your earnings per day is looking at $3.57 for the 2-band and $7.56 for the 3-band. So your break-even days for your 2-band is 139 days and your 3-band is 92 days or about 3 months. So a very, very short break even if we were to see all-time highs again. And finally, I want to touch on the earnings that I'm seeing so far with my device. So I had purchased my 2-band device for $495. I had purchased this back in January of 2022, and I got it, I believe, in May of 2022. But the token didn't actually go live, and I didn't get the token all set up till about September of 2022. I purchased the upgrade card for Black Friday at a discounted price of $1.45, so my total cost all in is $640. To date, I've earned 6,643 Geo tokens, and that's being online for about 150 days. At a current price today of just over 2 cents, we're looking at total earnings to date of $140. But like I mentioned earlier, I'm not planning on selling any of these Geo tokens. I'm really hoping for much, much higher prices, even prices much higher than all-time highs, before I even consider starting to sell my tokens. Next, I want to touch on a few issues I had with the installation of my triple band upgrade card. Now, the installation was relatively straightforward. They included a QR code with detailed instructions. Now, the first issue I had was it took me a good 10 minutes on one of the steps. I have pretty big hands and I'm not known to be the most steady, so good thing I'm not a surgeon, but I did end up getting it eventually. Now, the second issue I had was my token reward rate went to 0 after the install. I gave it a day to hopefully resolve itself, but I still was seeing 0 rewards. So I looked on GEODNET's Discord and saw that there were others having the same issue. The solution that people were giving was to reach out to GEODNET support at support@geodnet.com. My understanding is they needed to upgrade the device's firmware. So I emailed them, and less than an hour later, they emailed me back stating that they were able to upgrade the firmware remotely, and I was all set. I looked on my device's dashboard, and an hour later, I was once again earning rewards. Super easy. Next, let's touch on the pros and cons I currently see with this project. Let's start off with the pros. The first pro I see is price. This miner is at a relatively low price point at $495 for the 2-band and $695 for the 3-band. Second pro I see is availability. Currently on their website, they're indicating shipments of 2 to 3 weeks after your order date. I personally waited about 4 months after my initial 2-band purchase and 4 months after my upgrade card purchase. So it is really good that you'll potentially be able to get online within a couple of weeks of ordering this device. The third pro I see is the upside potential in this project. This project is still very new, and a lot of times, if you can get into a project early, that's generally the people that profit the most. The coin has only been live since August of 2022, and there's still not many devices connected in this network globally. I looked on their website earlier today, and there's currently under 3,000 devices currently online. So in my opinion, we're still very early in this project. Fourth pro I see is the potential for use cases for this project. Now, I don't believe they're currently going out to market and selling this data yet, but the plan is to going forward in the future. And I think there's potential for some large different use cases from autonomous driving and other potential use cases that can make this data very practical and useful for certain cohorts and industries. And the final pro I see is the minimal electric expense associated with these devices. With the 3-band device using less than 2 watts of electricity, that is very, very minimal, and you're basically going to have a zero electric expense or ongoing expense associated with this device. So that is another huge potential upside with this project, is you're really never going to have to run it at an unprofitable manner. Next, let's touch on the cons that I see. The first con is this is a new project, and with any new project, there's risks involved where the project could potentially fail. Now, next con that I also stated as a pro was a use case. It's still wait to be seen whether there's going to be a market for people or industries that are willing to purchase this data. You can think of it in comparison to Helium. Helium built a network, but there's really no one using the network and purchasing data on the network. I think there's potential where this project could run into a very similar situation. Third con I see is we're still in a bear market. So there's always risks in a bear market for new projects and new investments, and not all projects end up making out of the bear market. Wait to be seen if this project is going to survive. And the final con I see is a lack of liquidity in the project. Like I mentioned earlier, there's no current exchanges that trade this token, and it's only available on QuickSwap. For this project to be successful in the long term, they're really going to have to get listed on some major exchanges and increase the exchange of this token so more people can get into this project. Now, despite some of the potential cons and risks I see with this project, I'm still excited to run this device as a long-term speculative play within my mining portfolio. I personally think the pros outweigh the cons here, but you need to do what's best for you. If you're interested in purchasing this device, check my link in the description below. And if you decide this device isn't for you, that's okay too. Check out one of my other videos over here. Thanks for watching.